Well, this is one of my all-time favorite segments during the season of Let's Talk Gardening, and that's talking about containers. Kristy Rutland, container extraordinaire. I'm telling you, you can put these things together and they just look gorgeous. But how do you do it?
A lot of it, the biggest thing is start with a good foundation. You want to make sure you have good drainage in your pot. You want to use a good quality potting soil. The TLC potting mix is the stuff that we use. It's what we grow all our stuff in.
I love it because it's airy,
yeah.
but it holds a lot of nutrients too.
Yes, absolutely. The other thing that I like to mention is use some Osmocote in there. You throw that in your pot, it's kind of a one-time, you know, good for 3 months kind of thing. You may have to supplement occasionally, but for the most part, it's a quick and easy. I like quick and easy.
These planter inserts we started looking at a couple of years ago. Tell us about that. Those are wonderful.
These are called an Upsadaisy. What they are is a little bright orange disc. You have a pot, let's say it's a little too deep, you don't want to fill it all the way up with soil. What you do is you take this disc, you drop it down in there, and now you've created a void down underneath, and then very simply plant your plants in it, or you can get one of our Gardens to Go, drop it in there, instant.
Hey,
you're ready to go.
Now, Kristy, that's instant gratification right
yes,
there.
Yes, it is.
Love that.
And we have all kinds of Gardens to Go type things. It's a section in our greenhouse where we have already planted up mixtures that you can grab it, take it home, drop it in your container, and you're done.
Oh man, for people on the go, this is a lifesaver.
The other thing you can do if you're short on time and don't want to do it yourself, bring your containers in. I can plant them for you.
And TLC has some container lessons for people on Saturday mornings to come in workshops and so that she can teach you the tricks of the trade, which is great. But this is incredible. What's all in this pot?
In this one, this is a sun container. In this one, we've got a fan palm, which will actually go sun or shade, either way. We've also underneath, tucked under, we've got some geraniums right here. Another sun-loving, blooms all summer. This is another great one. If I can, this is Angelonia. It's also it's great for full sun, blooms all summer, loves the heat, all of that. So it's a really great one. Calibrachoa.
And those will end up trailing.
That's kind of your spiller. Blooms all summer. A good substitute for a petunia.
And this is what I think is probably the best deal in the whole shop. You get one of these, the sweet potato vine, and I'm telling you, that'll trail for 5 feet by the midsummer.
Definitely fills a big void if you need to. Also right next to it is fanflower. This year we have it in 3 different colors. We've got it in this blue color, we have it in a pink, and now we have it in a buttery yellow. We've also got Plectranthus, which is this variegated thing here. Does wonderful, spills great. It's not necessarily a bloomer, but it's a good accent.
And it's important to remember whenever you're putting plants together for containers to get all sun plants or all shade plants.
Right,
I mean, you don't, if you've got something that can't take the sun and something else that needs the sun, then you're just kind of asking for trouble, aren't you?
In some cases, like say for example you have a morning sun, afternoon shade type of setting, you could get away with mixing some of those shadier things and some of those sunnier things. But for the most part, you want to make sure that the stuff you put together is going to cooperate together in the same setting.
And likewise, like moisture needs. If something is more drought tolerant and really doesn't like a lot of moisture, doesn't like wet feet, and something else needs to be soaked, then probably not the best combo. Okay.
I also wanted to honorable mention of the bougainvillea. Does wonderful in hanging baskets, does wonderful in containers, loves the heat, loves the dry, blooms its head off as long as it's in the right setting.
And it likes the full sun.
Yes.
This is gorgeous. And what I love about this, Kristy, is not only different colors, but the different textures that you've put together here.
Yeah, absolutely. In this one, this is a great one that doesn't necessarily have to bloom all the time because you still have color. You've got the sun coleus that has color in the foliage, and you have the, if you look at the underside of the leaves on this Mona lavender, it's bright, vivid purple, and the more sun it gets, the more that vivid purple comes out. So it's a great one for containers and for a season extender.
So does that only bloom in the spring, or will it rebloom?
It's an on and off bloomer. It'll bloom for a while and then it'll stop, and then it'll bloom for a while and stop.
It looks like you've got some asparagus fern underneath. That's a great texture and great filler. And so this would be more for kind of half sun, half shade?
You could go full sun with it. You could go part sun. Again, like I said, the Mona Lavender, the more sun it gets, the more vivid that purple comes out in it, and it just kind of glows.
Oh, this is beautiful.
Got some shade pots. Couldn't leave the shade people out. Croton. A lot of people consider it a house plant, but it's really great in containers in sun or shade. So that's a nice one for your so-called thriller. Impatiens are great for shade, and they come in a multitude of colors and textures, and so that's another great one. And then I did California Ivy for the spiller.
It's got kind of a feminine look, especially with the pot that you chose with it. I like that. Very, very pretty. And then, so you did a white pot here and then a black one next to it with some similar plants, but it takes on a whole different appearance.
I swapped out the Croton for a Caladium, which is another great one for the shade. Popped a couple of sweet potato vines in there, which really play off of this bright red color here. And then, of course, with the ivy again.
And then, is this a trellis in the back?
Yeah. If you're having troubles finding something for height and you want to do maybe something that can do both, thrill and spill, you could do a trellis in your pot. Run a vine up the trellis and it can also cascade over. This is Lophus, which is great for the sun, blooms all summer, climbs really nicely, or spills.
And so this would be more for a sunny location?
Yeah, I would do sun on
Is this
that.
Penta?
That's Penta.
What do you know what variety that is?
Don't offhand.
No, I don't either, but it is. I love this shade, and this does great in the Oklahoma heat.
I know it's one of the taller varieties, but I'm not sure exactly which one.
Well, see, I just threw you a curveball. Didn't mean to.
You did.
You did such a great job. And Kristy, for those of you who don't know, Kristy and the people here in the nursery at TLC are experts in this field. So come in and ask them. They've got decades of experience and are happy to help you with whatever your need is with the container planting. Well, coming up next, we're going to talk evergreens. We're going to go outside and talk to Cindy Townsend about conifers. So stay with us.